Right. Okay. Let's get on with this. Not really a whole lot to debate or argue about in terms of what the numbers actually are. Everybody knows what the numbers are. We can see the numbers. We know what the numbers are. Everybody agrees what the numbers are. I see the numbers. You see the numbers. Right? You told Brant. Brant told me. Yes, yes. And that goes back again to The Big Lebowski. It's a great movie. I recommend it. One of the all-time classics. If I was on a desert island, or maybe if I had one movie left to watch in my entire life, of those five, it would definitely, if I had one movie to watch, it would not be The Big Lebowski. But I don't know which one it would be of possibly five, and The Big Lebowski would be on that list. Definitely one of my all-time top 5 favorite movies, The Big Lebowski. So you told Brant told me. Yes, yes. And then what we know what the numbers are. We all know what the numbers are, right? We watch the news. You watch the news. They told me. They told you. You told me. I told you. Right? All right. We get it. Now we understand the news. Now the sports. Whose team is winning? Which zip code, right? And which zip code are we rooting for? Theirs or ours? When we get into international news and the international sports and whose team is winning and so on and so forth. And then on to, the weather forecast, more numbers. And then finally, how do you think about it? What is your opinion now of all of this? And now your turn. We have these 2 special people on here, or 4 people, or 5. And your turn. Now you go. Now you say what you think. What do you think? Yes or no? Up or down? Thumbs up or thumbs down? In or out? Circle or square? What do you say about it? You like it or no? Yes or no? Well, okay, now your turn. Now you go. You tell us. Like it or no? Yes or no? Up or down? Thumbs up or down? In or out? Circle or triangle? What do you say about it? Okay, now we know what you think. We now know what you think. Okay, that took up about 6 minutes. And now we're going to cut to a commercial break. And now we're going to be back. And now we're going to talk about, of course, we're going to continue on now that we know the numbers. We know whose team is winning, whose team won, which zip code are we rooting for, theirs or ours, yours or mine. Of course, we know what the weather forecast is going to be like, what it looks like. And now we know what you think about it. We now know what they think about it, what I think about it. We all think about it. Everyone has got an opinion, And now we're back for our commercial sponsors. And now we're going to scream at each other for the next, look, we have 45 minutes. Let's just scream at each other now for the next 45 minutes. And we will just scream at each other. Scream and scream and scream and yell at each other. Because we have different opinions about all of this. And we're going to scream at each other. And also, we're going to hate each other. We're going to tell each other that we hate each other. And then we're going to teach our kids, and we're going to show our children how to hate. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to teach our kids how to hate and how to scream and how to, hey, listen to me. I'm only telling you, this is called the news. That's it. That's all it is. I'm not telling anybody how to think, and I'm not telling anybody what to think. I'm just telling you what it is. This is the news, okay? It's numbers, got it. It's whose team is winning, great. It's the forecast, super. It's the opinion, got it. And now we're going to scream at each other for 45 minutes to an hour and a half or all night long, and then we play it over and over. People just screaming at each other and trash talking each other and putting each other down and bad-mouthing each other and chopping each other down and telling each other and telling their neighbors that they should be suspicious of their neighbors and each other and one another. And we're teaching our kids how to hate each other and how to hate one another and how to not trust each other. And that's it. And that's all I'm saying on the matter. Now, you might agree with me or you might not, or you might agree with me or you might not, you might like it. I don't like it. I would love to not act that way. And somebody might be saying now, well, you're acting that way now. Well, so be it. But I'm trying not to. What I'm trying to do is point out, maybe it's a little over the top, but how we are being taught to scream at each other, and we're teaching ourselves how to scream at each other, and just essentially hate each other on a basic level, treat each other as if we're enemies, when we're not. All we are is human beings with different opinions. We're all trying to raise our families. We're all trying to do the best thing, the right thing for our families, for ourselves. And then we're all just trying to get along with our neighbors if we can. Most normal people are like that, if they're like me. And I'm not saying I'm normal. There's a lot of weirdos out there. Trust me, it takes one to know one. And I'll leave it at that. A lot of weirdos out there. You know, George Lucas is a weirdo, for instance. And if it wasn't for George Lucas, hey, brings me to Patton Oswalt. Man, Patton Oswalt, man, I got something to say to that guy. Let me tell you what I have to say to Patton Oswalt. And it's not, look, man, I don't have anything against Patton Oswalt personally. Well, listen, no, maybe it might be a little personal. Listen, maybe if somebody said this about somebody that you love and was a beautiful person and that you knew was a beautiful person and that had given us a beautiful gift and had given you a beautiful gift personally that had made your life better and more fulfilling, and you were able to pass this on to your children and to other people, and it just made the world a beautiful place. And then this guy came along and said, well, if I had a time machine, I would go back in time and I would kill this guy with a shovel to keep him from creating this beautiful piece of art that he's given now, that you have now in the world, that you have, that the world has because of this guy, this beautiful person. Yeah, this is what Patton Oswalt said about George Lucas. You can look it up. Look it up. I'm not even going to tell you what he actually said. Just look it up. He passed this off as a joke, tried to make this as if it was a joke, some kind of a funny, oh yeah, ha ha, very funny. If I had a time machine, he said, I would go back in time to about 19, I think he said 94, 90, 97 or something, whatever he said. And he would kill George Lucas with a shovel. Now, this is what he said. I didn't say this. He said it, and I'm not saying that I'm just making stuff up. Patton Oswalt said, and I hope I'm saying his name the right way, Patton Oswalt said that if he had a time machine, he would go back in time and that he would kill George Lucas with a shovel. Do you understand what I'm saying here? He said he was going to kill George Lucas with a shovel if he had a time machine, and that is supposed to be funny. This is supposed to be funny, and he's working for Disney now or somebody. I don't know what he's doing. Listen to me. I don't think he should be canceled, and I don't think that he should apologize to me or anybody else. But are we not going to talk about this? Patton Oswalt said that if he had a time machine, now listen, I think you could look this up on the internet. Google it. I don't know, Google it. Patton Oswalt tells a joke about George Lucas. Google it. Might be on one of those platforming services, you know, where you can watch the videos. Anything where you can get the audio, whatever. Patton Oswalt joke, George Lucas, shovel. And, well, he told this joke. He said, if I had a time machine, I would go back in time to about, I think he said 94, 93 or whatever. 97, I don't know. Whatever. Who cares? And that he would kill George Lucas with a shovel to keep him from making the prequels. Now, don't even get me started on a joke that is based on going back and committing murder to kill one of the most beautiful people that ever lived, right? Hey, how about that? Who's next? Mr. Rogers, right? Who's next? I don't know. I didn't even want to think like that. I can only say this. Not funny, Patton Oswalt. Just not funny. And that's fine. That's what you're into. I'm not into that. No. Okay, but you don't have to apologize to me, but is no one going to talk about it? Is no one going to say anything about this? Patton Oswalt, he'd go back in time and kill George Lucas with a shovel. Nobody cares. Okay, let's talk about it. No? Okay, next. Moving on. The prequels are amazing. One of the greatest. Listen, first of all, talk about reinventing cinema on every level. Groundbreaking, paradigm shattering. Lights, camera, action, any way you look at it. Down to the sound effects, editing, acting, iconic characters. Dexter, Jetster. Come on, man. This is, hey, Obi-Wan. Hey, old buddy. This is iconic. This is iconic. Misa called Jar Jar Binks. This is iconic. Let me tell you what's not iconic. Yeah, you know what's not iconic. I don't even have to say it. Nobody cares about it because any movie that's not from George Lucas is a fake. And you know it, and I know it. It's a fake. So we all know there has been no awakening. You know it, and I know it. There has been no awakening. There has literally been no awakening. You know it, and I know it. No, there's been no awakening. What there has been is a producing of replications of something that wasn't even real to begin with, and that is a copy of what the original is, and that is Star Wars by George Lucas. Hey, the special editions, that's it. If you don't like it, that's too bad. That's what the creator said. If you like it, great. I guess you're going to have a more comfortable ride to start. But there's always haters out there, and there's always people that are going to want to attack and divide and criticize. And that's not the reason George Lucas made these movies, and that's not what we have here. But some people want to turn it into that. And you got the same thing with other people, with other things, like the Bible, for instance. So you have the Star Wars on one hand, and then you have the Bible on the other, and so on and so forth. You have Star Wars fans on the one hand, and you have Christianity people on the other hand, right? And I'm separating people that are followers of George Lucas, right, from just Star Wars fans. Right? These are going to be the people that are wearing... look, I'm not putting anybody down for being a Star Wars fan. I'm just saying that, and I'm not saying I'm better, because I saw Star Wars in 1977 in theaters when I was 10 years old. But I'm telling you, I did see Star Wars in theaters in 1977 when I was 10 years old at the Central City Mall. And I never saw anything like it. It just completely blew my mind, and it completely blew everybody's mind. And the next day at school, we were all playing Star Wars, and we've been playing Star Wars ever since. And so has everybody else around the world. And that's what I'm talking about. At any time, if you join this, you're part of it. And that's why I'm telling you that if you look at the prequels, you will see this is the best Star Wars that there is. The prequels. The prequels is the best Star Wars. It's, first of all, the Phantom Menace. Star Wars Episode 1, the Phantom Menace. Probably the purest of all of the Star Wars movies, I would say. The most George Lucas of all of them. In fact, I would argue, I'm doing an essay on this right now, soon to be released, that Jar Jar Binks is actually George Lucas in this movie. Now, that's my theory, and I'm arguing that I'm pressing along in that way. But you'll see that as the essay begins to unfold. And that is how and why Jar Jar Binks actually is the key to this. And how George Lucas is the key. Jar Jar is the key. Lucas is the key. Think about it. Think about it. Okay. Mystery box. Don't even get me started, man. Don't even talk about weirdos. Don't even get me started, man. Okay. We all know there's been no awakening. And Patton Oswalt, man, that guy's an all-out weirdo. He just is, flat out, all-out weirdo. And I just want to talk about this thing. If you don't want to talk about it, fine. You don't have to tell me you're sorry. I'm not trying to cancel anybody, and I'm not saying you can't tell any kind of joke you want to tell at any time for any reason to any audience. Free speech, man. Hopefully, at least in America, we have it for a while. Maybe, hopefully. But one thing for sure, Patton Oswalt, if you thought that joke was funny, maybe a lot of people did. I heard people laughing. I don't think it's funny. I don't think it's funny to go around talking about killing people that are such beautiful people and have produced such beautiful stories for us. Look, Jar Jar Binks is one of the most beautiful characters ever created. If you don't like the way George made the movies, why do you want to go back in time and kill him? So you can get a laugh? So you can get your frustrations out and talk about ganging up on this guy that's clearly a weirdo himself? Can't you see that George Lucas is clearly a weirdo? And you're going to gang up on him and tell all these jokes about him, around him, so that everybody thinks that they should make fun of him and ha ha ha, are going to go back in time and kill him. Kill George Lucas, ha ha. No, I don't think that's funny at all. I think it's mean. I don't think it's intelligent. Well, it might be intelligent from your point of view. You might have thought it out. You might have written it all out and said, this is going to be hilarious. Well, guess what? It's not hilarious. I don't think it's hilarious. And I don't think, now maybe I'm wrong, and I don't want to speak for him, but I don't think George Lucas would think it's hilarious. But it doesn't matter what George Lucas would think. I just want to say it out loud. I didn't like it. There you go. And I want to say this out loud. If you want to read more about this, check it out in my books, any of the books that I've written. The first one you're going to want to get is, of course, the book of the introduction. And then you can follow that up with This is a Christian Book, Definitions, Meanings, Implications of Things. And then finally, the preface section of part 1. This is a Christian Book by Srandall Slopez. And all of the information will be in there, all the explanations, all of that. We're talking about Star Wars. We're talking about Christianity. We're talking about people that follow George Lucas and the people that understand the true Star Wars is the Star Wars that the Creator has given us, and that anything that has been produced without the Creator's direct input is not, it's fake. It's not real in the sense of it being fake, although it is real in the sense that it's here. It's fake in the sense that it is not of the Creator. It's not of Lucas. You know it and I know it. There's been no awakening. And then on this sense, it looks at society as through the lens of the prequels, and is asking through various factions within that society, such as Christianity. And what does that mean? And you have people that follow and seek to follow Jesus Christ as through the Bible. We're looking at that through the lens of the Bible. And then we take the prequels. Looking at the prequels, based on the prequels. These books are based on the prequels and taking mythology, various elements of theology, various religious ideas and ways of thinking and philosophies, and looking at this as the lens through which we see this, as the prequels are showing us all of this at one time. Politics, man, there's a lot of politics in the prequels. You can see it. It's there. He wants you to see it. And politics in any society that we live in. And this is the world in which we live, friends. And Lucas explains it all through the prequels. Beautiful. And you can get my books. They explain it all through the lens of the prequels. They honor George Lucas. They look actually gleaning from the Bible instruction and guidance for living a life that is a Christian life, if you want to look at it that way, because this is a Christian book. And so how you would look at that is, how does a Christian look at the world in one way or another? And what does the Bible say about any of that? And so on and so forth. As the Bible is coming from the Creator, and then you take the Star Wars, and the Star Wars is coming from the Creator. So there's a little comparing, comparison, contrast, and contrasting there. but using it to show, oh, very similar in the way people approach their text. Christians, the Bible, followers of George Lucas, Star Wars. People will divide and argue over Star Wars as they will divide and argue over the Bible. And then they build their societies out of it. And that is Christianity, that's Christian society, built out of people's interpretations of the Bible. And then you have the same thing with the prequels and Star Wars and the Star Wars fandom, and how fandom and faith-based behavior and fandom-based behavior both contribute to, they're similar in many ways, but they both contribute to our overall society. But they're similar in many ways, and one of those ways is they're each based on a text, and they're each based on looking unto a creator, some higher power, so to speak. And so, friends, that's all the time we have for today. I do want to leave you with these words. Again, I want to say this, it's very important. That, remember, your focus determines your reality. And may the force be with us.